And I get it to a certain extent. The fans, the media does not need to know every little thing that's going on with Caitlin Clark's injuries, especially a star player like that. We will never know all the information, nor should we know all the information, and that's actually good for Caitlin. It protects her for when she does come back on the court. She can't be targeted. Teams can't use a certain injury or ailment against her if people don't really know what is going on. But the reporting of her timeline in general, there has been no rhyme or reason to what has been shared about it.
WNBA Trainwreck as ratings collapse with Caitlin Clark still injured. The WNBA is facing a crisis that nobody wanted to admit, and it all centers around Caitlin Clark's absence. It has now been over a month since Clark suffered her groin injury, and fans still don't know when she will return, or if she will return this season at all. In that time, the league has been slapped with a harsh reality check. Life without Caitlin Clark means ratings are crashing, attendance is shrinking, and the growth narrative the WNBA has pushed all year is suddenly looking fragile. The numbers tell the story in brutal fashion.
I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. She come out and said on Sue Bird's podcast that she's feeling the pressure of not playing in these games. And that Fever Sky viewership fell off the map. All right? A massive fall off from earlier in the year. No Caitlin Clark, no Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese is back injury? Question mark? Nobody's exactly sure what the hell's going on there at all.
The first Fever vs. Sky matchup this season, featuring Clark against Angel Reese, drew a massive 2.7 million viewers, peaking at 3.1 million. That game became the most watched regular season broadcast in over 2 decades. But as soon as Clark was sidelined, the decline began. By the third meeting, ratings fell to 1.5 million. Last Saturday, with both Clark and Reese missing, the game pulled just 1.3 million viewers, rock bottom compared to earlier highs. In just a few months, this marquee matchup has shed 1.4 million viewers, and networks are not ignoring the trend.
That if you fail to protect your stars, Caitlin Clark, if you fail to protect your stars, sometimes they might not be around all the time. Sometimes they might get nicked up, sometimes they might get dinged up, and sometimes they might get a soft tissue injury that takes weeks, if not months, to correctly heal. And that's the predicament the WNBA now finds themselves in. Caitlin Clark has been out a month and 1 day.
The bigger problem? This collapse is not isolated to Fever games. Across the league, matchups without Clark are struggling to draw even 200,000 viewers. Networks that invested in broadcasting deals expected consistent growth, but instead, they are watching a product almost entirely dependent on one player. Owners are worried. Advertisers are restless. And fans are beginning to question whether the league has built its entire momentum on a single star. The injury itself also raises questions. Clark was initially listed as day-to-day, then downgraded to out indefinitely, leaving fans frustrated by the lack of transparency. Even worse, critics argue that the WNBA failed to protect its biggest draw from relentless physical targeting and inconsistent officiating, which may have contributed to her injury in the first place. Without Clark, the Fever's offense sputters, the product on the floor feels slower, and casual fans quickly tune out. The league has tried to compensate with PR tactics, teasing potential Clark returns that never happen, dangling her name as a way to spark interest. But fans are growing wise to the strategy, and every missed return date chips away at trust. With just weeks left in the regular season and Clark's status uncertain, the WNBA finds itself staring down a dangerous truth: its so-called growth was never league-wide. It was Caitlin Clark-driven growth. And without her on the court, the numbers prove it is Clark or bust. For the WNBA, this is more than a ratings dip, it's a structural crisis. If Clark isn't back soon, networks, sponsors, and casual fans may not return either.